well, you mentioned Ice Cube. And Ice Cube met with Trump's party. He met with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. He also said he reached out to the Democrats, but they told him to check back after the election.
Yeah.
So, the Republicans kind of put him on blast and said, oh, thank you, Ice Cube, for meeting with us and so forth.
Right, yeah.
And Ice Cube went on a hell of a promo tour to defend himself.
Right, yeah.
He did every YouTube channel with over 100 followers. And
those optics are big, man. It's like you got played it's like they played a lot of people that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've discussed this with some of my other guests, and number one, although I am a huge fan of Ice Cube in terms of his music and some of his movies, I have not been a fan of Ice Cube's personality or some of the things that he said. But I think that in this particular case, I really feel like he's really being targeted, unfairly, because it seems like he was there to do something good and to try to improve the situation for Black Americans with whoever ends up being in power.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing where it's funny how these things get manipulated like that because, sometimes it comes down to an ego to some degree, and some of our leaders are not leaders, but our celebrities fall victim to the ego thing, and say, "Wow, I get a chance to do something." They want to do something more than just make people laugh or make people shake their ass, right? So it's like, oh, they're calling upon me to do this grand thing that can expand who I am in this world. Steve Harvey, Jim Brown, Ice Cube. And they probably, of course, mean very well. It's like, wow, I think it's easy for someone to fall into that and say, hey, Mike, I want to call upon you to help your people and get me out there. And then it's like, gotcha.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the spin could be anything it wants to be.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Lil Wayne picture.
I'll try not to look at that Lil Wayne picture.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? The picture with him and Trump?
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the Sammy Davis Jr.
picture
with
we're old enough to know.
With his
know
head.
What that is.
Sammy Davis had his head on Nixon's shoulder, like his father or something like that. And from what I understand, like I did some research on this, and I'm not 100% sure if this is true because there was a little bit of debate over this. But the story behind that I'd heard was Sammy Davis had a massive IRS bill that Nixon just made go away.
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of that.
People could be bought.
There's a lot of it. I mean, like I said, those optics, man, they're crucifying.
Yeah.
Well,
any Black person that stood next to Trump has ultimately regretted it. Is the impression I've always gotten from Steve Harvey. You could say Kanye, although Kanye probably wouldn't admit it, but Kanye definitely was not respected for standing next to Trump like that and wearing a MAGA hat.
Well, he wore a MAGA hat, man.
To Lil Wayne, as you could see now, to Ice Cube. Everyone has ultimately not looked well by standing next to this man because we all know that Trump doesn't care about anybody, much less Black people.
It's amazing to me. It's like pimp culture, like on blast.
Oh, yeah.
Like you go, wait a minute, this pimp looks ridiculous, okay? He's hoeing folks, right? And these women are, giving him his money.
All their money.
And it's like you sit there and you go, well, how does this work? This cat is ridiculous. He's ridiculous. He's weak. He's all of this, but he got you. Like he's pimping you, and you don't see it, and it kind of blows your mind because you step back and you go, well, how are you not seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Whether you like his policies or not, there's this climate of hatred that you'd have to agree with. I mean, that's just, I don't know, man. It's like, how do you not know that it's a direct result of him saying, okay, let's insult folks. Let's go low on all these things, and it's just saying that, hey man, maybe we didn't know what our identity really was, and maybe it is this ugly, because I know for this race being this close, I was wrong about who we were.